And we should be live. Good evening.
Hi.
Welcome. Hello. Let's just hold on a second. I think we are all there. So good evening. Hi, welcome. My name is Barry.
And I'm Jay.
And together we are Mitosu Crafts.
Thank you for joining us. Apologies that we're slightly delayed. We're trying a new setup again to see what works best. So let us know your feedback if you are liking this format. So yes, we are independent Stampin' Up demonstrators based in the UK. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up products from our online shop. Do use the current host code, which you can find on our Facebook page or website at mitosocrafts.com, and you'll receive a handmade card from us the following month, or extra gifts as well if you qualify. If you're new to the channel, we put out a couple of live streams every week, every Wednesdays and Sundays, 7 p.m. GMT. So if you would love to see more card making and papercraft inspiration using Stampin' Up products, do consider subscribing to our channel. Sorry, you looked at me.
No,
so like, okay. So let's say hello to who's already in on the
So
live.
we have, hi Mum, we have Connie, Sherry, Susan, Steph, Betty, Mandy, Louise, Arlene, and we've got there, Jeanne, Krista, hi Krista, Carol, Denise, Liz, so far, San, who have put comments in, Ilona, Joanne, Maureen, Helen, Linda, and then it jumps to the end there, Lisa, Ink with Heather, and Julie so far. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone on that long list of people. So thank you very much for joining us.
So yes, so if you are watching, do say hello, pop in a comment, and you'll be put into the random draw at the end of the live stream. If you are watching the replay, do pop in another comment as well in the comment section, so you'll be put into the random draw on our next live stream. So on that note, we'll be doing a random draw for the second card on our last live stream, which is this card, using the snail dies and creating a Valentine's card with that.
Yes, so we are going to do a live drawing of this, so let's see if this works. So just bear with me one moment. Why is it not working? Where am I? So right, I need to go onto that page there, and then I need to come over here. Bear with me one moment. So you should now see our screen. So excellent stuff. So we have taken everyone's names from the draw, from the live feed, from this one right here, and we're going to pick a winner, and that winner is going to be, drum roll please, Maureen. Maureen, that card is working its way over to you. So please message us, Barry and Jay at mitosocrafts.com, and that will then be working its way. Oh, where am I? There we go. That's it. You want to see us, don't you?
Not really.
Not really. So yes, Maureen, that card is going to be working its way over to you. So as we said, email us Barry and Jay at mitosocrafts.com, and we will pop that in the post to you. So good, excellent. So yeah, so we're going to crack on with tonight's demonstration.
Yeah.
We're going to be using the Enjoy the Moment stamp set, and Jay's got a very Versailles, or whatever you want to say it, stamp set, and I'm going to be doing a bit of an ink splatting, smooshing technique afterwards. So yes, so let's go down, and there we have it.
Ooh, bright. So yes, we're enjoying the moment. Are we? So yes, so this stamp set we have had for some time, which we haven't used before. So we thought we'll try and challenge ourselves and create something with this. So we haven't seen many samples on the web, and we thought we'll create something. So it's cling mount, and it's got 13 stamps, and it's got lovely sentiments on there, and obviously the images, which is great for just stamping. And then what we're going to be doing tonight is actually going to add a bit of watercoloring with these images. On its own, it does look quite dark images just because the way that it's been obviously put on the case. But don't forget, you have different types of different colored inks. Lighter, the subtles would be nice to have a kind of like, well, a subtle card. So that's what I'll be doing this evening. But I'll be mixing it with the Very Versailles stamp set. I do love this script stamp design here, which I haven't really used that much as well. And we're actually going to be using this design in our upcoming online class with the blending, the sponging and blending, sponges and blends, not blends, blending brushes. I don't know what I'm saying. So one of my favorite images is actually this one and this one. So because they're quite big, so I'll be concentrating on those two and then mixing it with that one. Okay, so we have, sorry. And I'll show you some other cards that we've kind of like created for samples. So I have, what inks do I need? I've got it in my box. So just to keep it nice and tidy, because I tend to spread it out on the table. It's just getting it out. So we have cinnamon cider, soft sea foam, Sahara sand, and smoky slate. So saying about the subtles, I've only got one subtle, but that's more for the background. I've already gone ahead and cut thick white, so just my normal card base. Ooh, crumb cake layer. So this one is 1 centimeter less than the card front, or that's 3/8 of an inch smaller. And then a normal white, which is 1.3 centimeter less or half an inch smaller. So that's got a small border, and that will be like so. I'll be fussy cutting this image. I've already done one, but I wanted to. I've also got petal pink, which is just for a banner underneath the sentiment. This is 1/3 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, or 4.5 centimeter by 1.9 centimeters. And I've just got some offcuts of normal white, and I'll be heat embossing the sentiment on this. So we'll start off with the layer. We're gonna stamp this one on this side. So on my, I did play around with it earlier on. I did use Memento, but I'm gonna try and use Stays On this time. Now it will be darker, but because of the watercoloring, I wanted it to keep its darkness. But if you don't like the darkness, use Memento or even the smoky slate as well to have it a quite subtle color. So just on the left-hand side here. See, we haven't even put the stickers on. And if you are using Stays On, just use the Stays On cleaner as well, just to keep your cling mount stamps in good shape. So now you can just scrub that off with the, what's it called, a scrub? I haven't used, I'm just using chamois. That's fine. I'll get the rest of those excess later. All right. So whilst that should dry really quickly. So I have got a water paint brush, water painters, And I'll be coloring that in the cinnamon cider. So you with this new type ink pads, it's quite hard to press it in. So I always just open it up and then use my block as a palette. So you don't need much. So if you want to stay in within the lines, you can. Can I zoom in on this thing?
Think you can.
No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. But I quite like it watery, so I'm gonna press or push there and a bit of water there. So always have, if you are watercoloring, have something to hand, tissue paper or kitchen roll. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna color that or add water around it and then add the color. Now, because it's only normal white, the ink won't actually bleed or travel that much. So I'm having to go outside the line a bit more. So Barry will be using watercolor fluid. What's it called? Fluid watercolor. Barry, I'm talking to you.
Sorry.
What's it called? Fluid watercolor paper from
Yes,
Stampin' Up.
it is, yeah.
So he will be showing that to you on his project. So I'm adding color and I'm putting it where there's more shadows. So the great thing about this stamp is it's because of the line image, you can already see where the shadows are. So I'm just randomly adding on and then adding the darker shades. And then we'll do the stems. And I actually want to, if you want to add a bit more shading, just pick up a concentrated ink, so less water, and then go back into your project. So I'm not squeezing that that water painter even more. So it's not gonna be too diluted. So I do want a bit of there. So I'll bring it up in a second so you can see closer. But I love that it's the black, it stays black. I think we were put off with how dark this stamp was before, so we haven't really used it that much, but I quite like it this way. I do want to add a bit more. So it's kind of like wishy-washy. Wishy-washy. And I might do some drippings. We'll see. And that halo around it, I think it just makes it look like it's popping out of the card. I'll bring that up. There you go. So we'll wait for that to dry. You can use your heat tool, but before we leave that alone, I'm gonna try and do something. Now this wasn't in my plan. I'm gonna go off piece. So I'm adding water, again pushing my painter and adding the rest of those color in. And I'm just gonna start from the top and I'm gonna let the water run down. So I'm pressing it down. Please work. Sometimes you do need to help it along. There you go. I'm gonna do another one. You could always blow down on it, I guess, but I'm letting gravity do its work. Gravity. Oh no. There you go. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, that looks okay. Trees. Right. Let's see. I'm just gonna tap that off. Take that off. So now we're gonna add some more stamping in the background, just to bring this card, just to add a bit more interest. So this is where the script comes in. So because it's cling, I don't know, I'm aligning my block on the grid paper, and then I'm looking at the line and aligning that underneath on the grid mat, if that makes sense. So I know when I stamp, all I need to make sure is this is square up to either the card, the grid paper, or the card. And I'm gonna stamp that across on the left panel, on the left hand side even. And I'm gonna use Smoky Slate. And this time I'm gonna do it second generation. Okay, so I'll just ink this up. If it's still slightly wet, you can move on to a different element before the stamping. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I want it there. Slightly off. Is that straight? I'm just standing up. Yeah. Oh, I didn't stamp off, did I? I forgot. Oh, well. I'll just do it as first generation. So if I stamped off, that obviously that would have been much more lighter. And I'm just moving down. Yeah. The next one we have. I'm just gonna move that away. I don't need that anymore. Soft sea foam, and I'm just gonna add the frame design from Versailles, which is this one. So again, you can align it by doing the top and bottom point on the vertical line on your grid paper. But I'm sure it doesn't matter. So this one, I want it just across in the middle, but I'm gonna stagger it slightly. And because it's subtle, it goes more to the background. Just across. And then I'm gonna add hints on the top as well. Okay. And the bottom here. That's done. Just moving away. So wait for that to dry. I'm gonna stamp another one of this one in Sahara Sand. So this one was stamped and fussy cut. Again, I use Sahara Sand on that one. So I'll use the same. I'm just gonna clean this one because I know that I haven't cleaned it from previous. I know I'm using the same ink, but I am going to use the edge of the ink pad to mask the stamp. So make sure it's dry. And I mean, what I mean is I just want to ink up the rest of the top. So I'm gonna use that edge and only gonna ink that side. So when I stamp that, it only inks that bit, because I want my fussy cut to have like so. It's probably gonna get hidden anyway, but it's got a white border at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna fussy cut that now, unless Barry wants to.
Sorry.
It's okay, I can cut it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna take that off. What is easier? I'm looking down through the ring light, so I'm sure it's fine. So we hope you've had a lovely weekend. If you've been crafting, let us know. And what do you think of this stamp set as well? Celebration is still going on until the end of February. So if you order in our online shop, £45 before PNP, you will get a free stamp set. One of the stamp set that we've recently got is this one, Approaching Perfection. So it's quite a nice stamp set. You can do backgrounds on that one. For my sentiment, I might use this one if things really do get better with age. Then you're approaching perfection, which is quite nice because the image reminds me of, like, I don't know, it's quite vintage. Do you think? Do you agree or not? So I might do that one. I'll show you the original, which afterwards, which I actually used the same stamp, but I thought, well, whilst we're on celebration, and if you have this stamp set, you can mix and match. So this one. Oh, where's the other one before I? There. So that's gonna go like so. Put that aside. And what we're doing, yeah, that way. It doesn't matter, actually. I'm gonna cut it out. But it's quite big, so I just want maybe perfection on it. Yeah, or perfect. Perfect. Ooh. You're fabulous. Oh, you're fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you. What? Oh, that took me a while. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do your fabulous instead. That's so funny. Quite like the news flash. That'll be good for like masculine design as well. So it doesn't matter that it's there. Washi tape. So the black, I'm just gonna prepare that. And Versamark. So we're gonna do some heat embossing. Okay, I don't know where the washi tape is. Okay, yes, please.
So there's 2 bits of washi tape over here. Yay, 1!
You're too slow, I've done it. But
1.
thank you. Use washi tape if you don't, but you could also use the edge of your paper or grid paper. I was too slow. I'm sure that doesn't count. He did get up. Okay. I'll let him have that. Okay. I was thinking, I'm sure I didn't ink up the other one. White Stampin' Emboss powder.
Have you got that?
Yeah, of course. There you go. It's away. And then we'll heat emboss. Okay. I'll just bring it in. So close your ears. Okay, so you can, I'm sure you can fussy cut that, but it's just easy. This one's got a straight edge. Classic label punch, put it in, align it in the center. You're right. And punch it. Easy peasy, but yes, you can. Ooh, sorry, did I move it? I cut it as well, but I will cut the sides off. I just want that to be not pointy. And we're gonna add that on the card now. So before I continue, what else have I got? That one. So I'm sure you all know I like to add more stuff. So I'm gonna add linen thread on this with tear and tape. So at the back, I'm just gonna have tear and tape there. Ooh, that is my stomach. I haven't eaten.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Barry doesn't eat. No.
I'm always saying, what are you going to have for lunch? Nothing. And he just looks at me with disgust. I'm like saying, how dare you try and feed me?
So I'm just going to wrap that twice on there. Cut that off. And I will add some more later. So this, I'm gonna keep it straight this time. But before I finish up, I will. Sorry, I'm gonna distress the edge. So the side of my paper snips. Distress. So you can do it as much, as little, or not. It's quite fibery. High in fiber. I have to laugh at my own jokes. Because Barry doesn't. He just roll his eyes. Pretend that he didn't hear me. Hey.
Sorry.
So rude. Oh. be careful if you open it up to not cut yourself. Okay. Fine. Right. Just getting rid of all this stuff. And now we can add. So glue. Straight on. Let's see if I can. And then this one will keep straight as well. So yeah, don't forget to add comments if you haven't done so already, and you'll win this card. Do I still need glue? Yes, I do. Okay, so for the next one, I'm gonna have insert that in, have that on there. So I'm only adding glue where it'll hit that petal pink. I did blob it. So insert it and a bit higher. Like so. Dimensionals. Maybe one more. There. And I'm actually nearly done. So that one's going to be there. I do want that there as well. So I am hiding a tiny bit of it, but or does it look better like that? With or without the second one? I quite like it with. Sorry, there is a delay on the Zoom, so I'm just gonna decide. Here we go. And that's gonna be there. With. Okay, thank you. Cool. That was good. Oh, and I forgot my other thread. So wrap just a couple of wrap around, cut it. It's gonna go under there. Oh. But you could always add more, you know. If it doesn't work, just take it out, I guess. But you can't do that with ink. You can't take it out. Although saying that, I've got another card that I started adding dots with water painters, and I was like, no, that doesn't work. But I'll show it to you. I tried to rectify it, but I don't know if it's any good. So I'm just gonna add that underneath. Spread it out. Go. And finally, the sentiment. Should really do the edge. There we go. So there we go. I hope you like that card. So using a stamp set that we haven't used before. So hopefully, if you do have this and you haven't used it, it'll inspire you to do so, or create something with a stamp set that you already have. So this is the original card using the same stamp for the sentiment. So I did wonk it up, and the layers is actually the same as the crumb cake, and it's on a very vanilla card base. That one, I don't know if you can tell the difference. It doesn't have the drip on there, but it's there. And it's a 10-fold card, so it's actually, it stands up like that instead of a book fold, I guess. So there you go. If you haven't done so, hit that like button, please, and stay tuned for Barry's card using the same set. And at the end, we'll do the random draw, and I'll show you 3 more cards using some watercolor, embossing, and yes, just stamping, I guess. But yes, I'm just gonna move. Yes, it is.
Okay. So, didn't he do well? So now I've already got my disclaimer in that I won't be able to find anything. So I'm going to be losing tonight because nothing is where I left it or in the box that I got prepared. So yes.
Well, what do you need?
I don't know yet until
your box?
Until I find out it's missing from the box. So yes. So I'm going to be doing my my version of a card using the same stamp set. So I just wanted to see if I can answer a question for somebody. It was Heather, I think, answered or asked the question a moment ago about what the actual flowers were. And yes, or the seeds.
Oh yeah.
So we have got what's this one? Somebody said sweet gum tree pods. Then we got somebody said bottle tree seed pods. Then maple seed pods, bottle tree seed pods, lotus pod, poppy seed pod, and again bottle tree pod. So I'm not sure. This is just something which I found on the internet, and somebody's put a picture up with these names on. So that's what we have used. So, or what somebody has called them. So we will see, and hopefully we've got it correct. But I don't know their seeds. They're at the ends of plants. new life plants.
Yeah.
Yes. So so good. So that's that. All right. So how long have we been on already? 40 minutes. I've got about 20 minutes to crack on and do my demonstration.
I'll move my card because you're going to be messy, aren't you?
I am going to be messy. I know. Did you remove my scrap bit of paper from in here as well? I put some scrap paper in
what
here.
What scrap paper?
Some grid paper. That one there. That's fine. So I'm going to be using Bumblebee.
Ooh.
Basic Black and Magenta Madness, along with the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So that's what I'm going to be using. So there is my sizes, which I've cut down to. So my card base is 14.6 by 21, score at 10.5. Obviously, sorry, it's all in centimeters. Black 9.1 by 13.2. The Magenta Madness 8.8 by 12.9. And I've labeled it as Whisper White, but it's a Fluid 100 paper, which will be 8.5 by 12.6. So that's all the measurements in centimeters for you. I'm going to, and the reason I kind of went with that is because the Fluid 100 paper isn't, I'm going to say, it isn't the cheapest, but it's a good quality paper. So I wanted to make sure if I cut it to what would be our normal card kind of like base or mat and layer, I would use up one sheet of paper for the whole thing, and that's all I would get out of it. Whereas I wanted to get two. I wanted to get 2 out of it, so I've made my layers smaller to be able to cope with this. So I'm going to cut my fluid 100 paper down to 8.5. So I'm going to cut it at 8.5 this way first, and it is actually already 12. It's actually 12.7-ish. 12.6 is what you want to take it down to. I'm not going to worry about the tiny millimeter at the end there. It's okay. If I really wanted to, I'm not sure. I will see what it looks like when I mat and layer that. I'm still happy with that. That's fine. Good. So they are all of my layers ready. Actually, Jay, can I have my original card over here? I didn't actually bring that over with me, so I can see. So it's going to mat and layer like so. Thank you very much. So, going to pop these to one side. You want to clear yourself a little bit of room because you did you not have to? There's a bit of tissue over here. I'm just going to plug in. Oh no, you have already got the heat tool plugged in, haven't you? That's good. So I am going to grab a block. So let me just take my stuff. And the stamp I'm going to be using is this one here, which I think we said it was a lotus pod. And I am going to be using Magenta Madness ink and Bumblebee ink. I'm going to be using a spritzer. And I am going to take the C block, stamping block. So that's what I'm going to use to start off with. Okay. I would advise that you don't have anything around on the table which you want to get is going to get splattered, sprayed, anything like that, because it will potentially affect your card. So pop this bit to one side, and that's ready for another one if you want to do a second one. So let's see if I can get this ready. Is that on? Yep, that's ready to go. So let's start with Magenta Madness, and I'm just going to literally, I'm going to ink up my block. And that's good and inky. Move the electrics away before I spray. This is just filled with normal water. And I'm just going to couple of sprays using the spritzer on that. And I'm also going to do the same actually on more paper in. And I'm going to do the same on my watercolor card as well. And I'm kind of going to get that a little bit more saturated. And then down. Okay. I'm just going to let that just sit for a second. I'm just going to take off some of this excess around on the outside, so that's fine. So just take it up with a kitchen towel. That's that. I'm just going to take some of that off. So it's a matter of sometimes about building some of these layers up. I'm just taking off some of the excess because when I heat dried it, heat set this in the moment, I don't want it to move around too much. So I'm just going to heat set for a second. Yeah. That's enough there. I'm just going to take off the excess on that one. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Bumblebee. I'm going to do the same, and I'm just going to, I'm not going to do as much on this one because this is quite a strong color as well, and this is quite a juicy pad, and I'm going to
Did you need stays on actually?
Yeah, I used the Stamparatus with earlier on with the, and I'm just going to just pop that in, and I'm just going to just layer that up a little bit. And it's all about layering some of these colors up and just layering on top of it. The Bumblebee is quite an overpowering color for that with the Magenta Madness. You think it would be the other way around, but actually the Bumblebee takes over an awful lot. And I'm just gonna just drop some blobs around. Let's just give that a set. So see, every time you do this technique, it's going to look completely different. The card I made earlier on as my prototype is not going to be the same as this one here, and you're never going to get the same effects. So you just work with it and just build these colors up. So I'm just going to just bring in the Magenta Madness again. So I dry it in between so that it kind of keeps the colors, so it sets the colors in place. Because if I don't dry it in between, the colors are going to move around and they're going to blend and they're going to mix with each other. So I think to try and make sure you get your separate colors dry in between, even though I am going to water down again afterwards, but it's just, I think, so it sets the color. And then we can then just, I suppose with this, you don't want to do it too much. I think I'm going to stop at that point. What I need to do now is I need to completely dry this bit of card. Cool. I'm just going to maybe just a bit more. Where's the stress look? Good. And there's kind of my messy background. That's that. Looks complete and utter mess at the moment, but bear with it. See how it goes. So I'm going to just pop this to one side for a second, just to continue just to air dry just a little bit more whilst I'm moving on to another part. So I've still got my heat tool out, and I'm going to take myself a bit of black card. I didn't actually get over. Can I joke? Oh, actually, yeah. Can I have a bit of black card, please?
I didn't take that out.
No, that was me. That's a definite count. That's fine. That's all right. So I just need to cut. I only need a tiny bit, so I'm just going to. Yeah, it's my sentiment. So I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch strip here. We will see. I'm going to use the lovely labels punch, this one here. So it's in 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch, or 1.3, 1.9, or 2.5 centimeters. So you can get 3 different banners out of this one here. So this one is not 1/2 inch. That was a centimeter, which I did, not 1/2 inch. Well, it is a bit small. And then I'm going to just punch one side out. I'm just going to take a bit of scrap paper. So this one right here would have to do. What I'm going to do is I just want to cut myself another 1/2 inch strip, because I want the end part. See, if I wasn't doing this in black, then I would use the offcut. But what I need is I need this part here for my little trick. I have done it before in the past, and obviously it's nothing special, but it helps lining this up. So I've got my bit here for my sentiment. I am going to use my embossing buddy, or whatever you've got, talcum powder, cornstarch, whatever it is you use.
Ooh, that's really just purple on my face.
Oh, did she? Lovely. Was it just a burp and nothing else? And I'm going to take my Versamark. And we're going to ink that up with Versamark, and then I am then going to just stamp this down. So a bit tricky when you've got a light in the way. So I put that straight. Straight enough. Okay, then I will then take the a bit of paper underneath and the Whisper White embossing powder, and I will just pop this on. And I've seen just by using the embossing buddy just takes away any stickiness. So especially when using white on black, you don't want the excess. So I'm just going to heat set this now. So that's good. And then using this bit here, I know that when I struggle now is how much do you take off to then be able to get the correct gap. Cut yourself a little bit of the offcut, pop it down where you need it to be, so that part is going to be what it cuts. So you can then line it up with this, how it looks this side here. Pencil mark there. Actually, Jay, can I have a post-it note, a pin? I know you've got a mini on, haven't you?
That's fine. What?
I just need a post-it note so I can put this back into the feed this back into the.
Of course, I don't mind.
So that takes you up to number 3. You are. So now that is too small to go into the machine, so into the punch. So I'm just going to take off a post-it note, and I'm just going to cut a thin strip. And then that can then go on like that. And then all I can do is I know if I've lined it up correctly, I just pop that in where I want it to be. Would help if I had it open. Punch it down. And then I've got my gap, that side there. So that's how a way of doing it. I've gone a little bit off because it wobbled around inside, but just take your time and make sure it just lines up a little bit better than what I did. But that's how you would do that. Ideally, I should have cut this to the same thickness as the bit which is going in, so you don't get any of that wobble. So I just needed to add a little bit more, so that would eliminate that wobble because it would be the same thickness. But I think that's a cool little tip. If you struggle with those punches, do that. Okay, save your offcuts and then line it up. All right. Once you're done with it, you can put those in the bin and don't need that anymore. So that's that part. So that is going to go on here like that in a second. But what I need to do now is we need to do some stamping. So I'm actually going to bring out something which we don't use that often, but is a great tool to have in your stash, and that is the Stamparatus. Okay, everyone should have a Stamparatus, I think, or a stamping platform, just so that you can, especially with doing this on, because it's not going onto normal paper, stamping is going to be a little bit trickier on this style of paper. So take your magnets out and keep them away from each other. There is a medical disclaimer with these magnets. If you've got, I think you've got some kind of heart problems or anything like that, I think Stampin' Up say be careful with the magnets. So I just want to pop that out there. Just if you are thinking of getting one, do read the T's and C's or the information about it first to make sure it is safe for you, because these are really, really strong magnets. Okay. And then we are going to pop that in just roughly in the center. I'm going to go slightly off center because when I get my sentiment in there, then that will then balance the whole thing out and make it, bring the whole thing into center, centralize it up. So I'm just going to pop that there, bring the platform lid over. So this works well with photopolymer and rubber stamps. Actually, I might try the stays on black ink, actually. Let me just grab that. Is it over here?
You got up.
I got up.
Barry got up.
Because Jay's got a mini on. Okay. On my original, I used the Memento. So I'm going to use stays on ink for this one, and we will see again the difference. So that's that. And another little tool when using the Stamparatus, sometimes I find it's easier just to pop a stamp set on this side here. I love the smell of this. It smells of marzipan. It's great. And over we go. Yeah, I can instantly see straight away that's a better image. Eventually it will look the same, but the first time round going onto it, I've got a much clearer image. But I'm going, the one of the good things about a Stamparatus or a stamping platform is that you can go over this again and again, because the paper isn't moving, the stamp isn't moving, and you can intensify your coloring. Okay. So it's definitely something which I would highly recommend you think about investing in. It's available via our online shop, or you can actually put it in part of your starter kit if you join our team during February. You can put it down as a starter kit. So that's that. I'm just going to pop a bit of scrap paper in here just for now, and I'll close that down. I'll clean the stamp after we've finished the live. I'm not too worried about it so much on the rubber ones doing it instantly, but definitely on the photopolymers, you want to get them cleaned as soon as possible because it will stain. Disclaimer: it will stain your ink, your stamps. Okay, and it won't come off, but it doesn't affect the quality of them. So don't be scared of it. It just means that they're well loved and they are used. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do some matting layering here. So I would suggest that you get a couple of these sheets of this watercolor cardstock, and you make a couple of backgrounds, and then you grab your chosen stamp set, and then do a couple of these at once, because obviously it's quite a messy technique, and obviously you've got a lot of things going out just for one card. So I would recommend you do that. Okay, so we're going to mat and layer that first off on the Magenta Madness cardstock. Now, if you wanted to, you could gut that paper out if you really wanted to. It might actually be better to gut it out, because obviously it would make it lighter for postage. So I probably should have gutted it, but never mind, that's fine. And make it thinner for postage. So that's going to go on there. Because it's watercolor as well, it has buckled. Now, the Fluid 100 paper doesn't buckle as bad as some. Some really buckle really, really bad, and you can never get them back on again. And it just doesn't go. Now, the Fluid 100, again, you're paying for quality. Tommy, no.
Tommy,
come here. Sorry, he was just about to jump on the table, and there's no room for him on the table, so he would have jumped straight onto the camera and the laptop. So that's that. And then we would then mat and layer that on the black. So I think that just helps make that pop from the card quite nicely. So did I... What's everyone saying, Jay? Anything? Tommy, no, come on, please. Can you come and get Tommy, please, Jay? Hear Jay typing in the background. Yes, okay. Please let us know what you think of the quality from tonight. Is it better than the last live? We're trying a few things. We will probably have a different setup again on Wednesday. But we will see, or we'll use the same setup and then I'll try something different on Sunday and see how it works. So please do let us know, give us feedback on what you think everything looks like. So good, so that is now matte and layered on all of those. And then I'm just going to take my Bumblebee. So I've got a real mixed match of colours here, but they all work. They're obviously the in colours and they work lovely. Yes, that does. Mandy, I saw your tip come up there. It does, yeah. If you are having problems with it buckling, you can do that. But as I said, I think because you are paying for a premium paper with the Fluid 100, it reacts different. It's definitely it holds the water differently. So some of the cheaper ones may do that, but I know I didn't do it on this, and I haven't got hardly as much buckle as I would normally have done. So I'm happy with that straight away to be putting straight onto a card, whereas sometimes I would have to sandwich it between a book or something heavy, let it properly dry. But yeah, the spray on the back works quite nicely. So there we go. So that's that there. What I need to do now is I need to take my linen thread. We did order some more linen thread, Jay, didn't we? We did. Yeah. Linen thread's one which we go through an awful lot, actually. We do order this one. It's a definite. So if ever they stop linen thread, I think Jay would be, that's it. He's had enough. Don't talk to Jay if they ever Stampin' Up stop linen thread. And we're just going to wrap that around my finger a couple of times. We will snip off. Yeah, if you hear Jay scream in the background in a moment, we were doing a test yesterday. And Jay was teasing Tommy with a bit of the washi tape. He was playing with him, but he was teasing him. And Tommy bit his finger and he screamed rather loud. It was quite funny. Okay, and a little bit of a, so I'm going to pop that down like that. And then we will just add that in like that. Grab our sentiment. So I'm actually nearly done. So put your comments in, please, and we will be picking a winner to win Jay's cards. And then we will then be picking a winner to win my cards on Sunday. What day are we? Wednesday. I would use the large dimensionals, but I don't know where they are. I thought I had them in my box. The large dimensionals. That's fine.
You do have it in your box. I can see it from here. Is it not there?
No, it's not there. Yeah, he must have moved it then.
No, I'm sure I had it.
Sorry, I will use the minis.
You don't need a large
with my chunky fingers.
You do have to take your pick tool, right?
I do have take your pick tool, but I still don't like using that either. Use my nails. It is an amazing. See, I can see I'm more cack-handed with the take your pick tool. Take your pick tool is a good little tool, but I struggle with it with taking the backings off. And then we will then just pop that over the top like that. And there we have it. There is my ink blended, enjoy the watercolor blended background with the enjoy at the moment stamp set. What do you think? So I'm going to show you my original. So that was the original. So I didn't let the colors work differently. It's completely and utterly different. I've worked this one a lot more than I did this one here. But yeah, it's worked. I think they still work quite nicely, both of them. So there we go. And I've got a little bit of splatting around here as well. And that's the reason that happened, was that I was too close, and it spread out. So if you want to achieve that, spray that close to the watercolor card, and then you'll get some splatting as well, which works quite nicely. So there we go. There is my two cards. But can you see the difference as well? This is one done with Memento. This is done with the Stays On ink. It's a lot darker. It's a blacker ink. I probably didn't need to do it as many times and use the Stamparatus because it's filled it in a little bit more. But it is definitely a stronger ink. Yeah. It may be the fact that we need to re-ink that one, but it is definitely a stronger ink. So there we go. There is my card. And we have Jay's card, which was the straight one, which was that one right there. So two lovely cards. I hope you enjoyed that. But hang on, we are gonna draw somebody to win this particular card right here. So let's come back, and you can see our faces. Can you see us? I think you can see us. You've already done it. Good. I've already done one. Like the names. Yeah. So so there's Jay in the background, which you can see. Just popping everyone's last minute names in. So let's just see if we can improve the lighting here just a little bit.
Cool. I'll show my other parts.
So we're gonna switch over.
So yes, so a couple more cards whilst Barry's just finishing setting up the random draw. So this one is, oh, you're going down. Okay. So this one's quite simple. I don't know if you can actually see. Petal pink, so stamp. So this is the one that I messed up. I added dots in watercolor and in cinnamon cider. Cinnamon cider? Yeah, Tommy's just on the table.
Stay there.
He's just, we'll see if he yes, so I actually tried to blend it out, and I also put on top the white chalk marker to make it more lighter because it was so dark. But that one was stamped upside down because I actually stamped the sentiment upside down. So I thought, well, that works upside down. It's fine. And that one was watercolored with Calypso Coral and cinnamon cider for the inside. This one is quite basic or simple. It has got some die cut and fussy cutting and embossing as well, but it's a simple layout. So this one was stamped in soft suede and petal pink watercolored in there. You can see this, if you can see the script in soft sea foam, and all the sentiment is from the Enjoy the Moment stamp set as well. And this one is, I quite like this next one, the final one. So quite masculine, but I've used Calypso Coral, gold leaf, gilded leafing, and the seapod, whatever seapod that is, in Seaside Spray. So a couple of different cards there for your inspirations. Hopefully you like those as well. But yeah, I quite like stamping and creating my own background as well. But this one is quite plain, which is quite nice.
Good.
Cool.
So we're going to pick a winner now. He says, hopefully. There we go. Where's my screen share? So we will pick a winner to receive this one right here. Okay. Yep. So let's pick. All of your names are in, and the winner is going to be.
Good luck, everyone.
Excellent. Kath's Crafty Sessions.
Hey, Kathy.
So, Kathy's, sorry, I said Kath's. Kathy's Crafty Sessions. You have won. Message us, barryandj@mitosucrafts.com. So let's come round, and there we have it.
Cool. Congratulations, Kathy. Email us at barryandj@mitosucrafts.com, and we'll send that to you.
Yes, excellent.
Cool.
So good, excellent. I think that's everything for tonight, isn't it? Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Same time, same place.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
Bye
Take
for
care.
now. See you later.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Bye.